Welcome back to the channel where we uncover the rarest coins and their incredible stories. Today, we are diving deep into the fascinating history of a Washington quarter dollar that spans over 2 centuries from 1788 to 2000. And you might be wondering how a simple P mint mark Washington quarter can be worth an astonishing $87,465 in today's market. Well, buckle up because this story is full of historical twists, collector passion, minting errors, and modern-day surprises. Let's start from the beginning. The Washington quarter has been a staple in American coinage since its first issue in 1932, commemorating the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. But the story of this specific coin doesn't begin there. It begins way back in 1788, the year many states entered the Union and the foundation of the American mint system was beginning to take shape. Fast forward to the modern era. By the year 2000, the United States Mint had begun the popular 50-state quarters program. Each state was honored with its own unique design, and it was a huge hit among the public and collectors alike. Among these state quarters, one particular coin minted in Philadelphia with a P mint mark has captured the attention of the numismatic world. And yes, its current market value is a jaw-dropping $87,465. What makes this coin so incredibly valuable? First, let's talk about the mint mark. The letter P indicates that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Generally, coins from this mint are produced in massive quantities. But in the case of this rare quarter, something unusual happened. Point one theory is that it contains a double die obverse, meaning the front of the coin was struck twice, slightly off alignment. This results in a doubling effect, especially noticeable in the text or in the details of George Washington's face. Double die coins are always a hit with collectors, and this one is no exception. Another possibility is that it was struck on the wrong planchet. That means it may have been minted using a blank intended for a completely different coin, like a dime or a foreign coin. This would give the quarter a completely different weight and metal composition, making it a numismatic anomaly. Then there's the possibility of a transitional error. These happen when the mint changes its coin design or composition, but accidentally uses old materials or dyes. For example, in the early 2000s when the mint was shifting designs, a few coins slipped through the cracks with older or incorrect features. These errors are extremely rare and highly sought after. Let's not forget about condition. Coins that are in uncirculated or mint state condition are worth significantly more than those that have been used in everyday transactions. The coin in question was reportedly graded MS68, which stands for Mint State 68, on a scale that goes up to 70. That's nearly flawless. Coins with such a high grade are very hard to come by, and when you combine that with a rare error, the value skyrockets. Now let's take a moment to look at the historical timeline. The coin is sometimes labeled 1788 to 2000 because 1788 is the year many states were ratified into the Union. It could be part of a special commemorative run that honored these foundational states, making it even more historically significant. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that bridges the early days of the Republic with the dawn of the 21st century. That's not just metal. That's history in the palm of your hand. How did this coin reach such a high market value? Well, it was auctioned by a major coin house, and competitive bidding drove the price higher and higher. Collectors recognized its rarity, pristine condition, and historical relevance. When the hammer finally dropped, the winning bid was a staggering $87,465, and here's the kicker. You could have one sitting in your pocket change right now. Yes, really. Many people don't realize the treasure they might be carrying. That's why it's important to check your quarters, especially the ones from the year 2000 with the P mint mark. Look closely for doubling, misalignment, odd coloring, or unusual thickness. These could be signs you're holding something very valuable. The demand for rare coins has surged in recent years. With online marketplaces, collector forums, and auctions gaining popularity, even obscure errors or low mintage coins are being discovered and sold for thousands. This has led to a new era of treasure hunting, where everyday people are finding coins in change jars and piggy banks that turn out to be worth life-changing amounts of money. Now, let's talk market trends. According to recent appraisals and numismatic experts, coins of this type with verified errors and mint state grades consistently command high prices. As of today, April 2025, the last known sale of a similar coin reached $87,465. And prices are only expected to rise, especially as more collectors enter the market and the remaining examples become harder to find. If you want to search for one of these coins, here's what to do. First, grab a magnifying glass and a good light source. Examine any quarter from the year 2000 with a P mint mark. Check the edges. Look at the fine details on Washington's hair and the lettering. Any doubling, smoothness, or misprint is worth investigating. Next, weigh the coin. If it doesn't match the standard weight of a quarter, that's another red flag for a minting error. And finally, consider having your coin professionally graded if you think it might be valuable. Before we wrap up, remember this. Not every old coin is worth a fortune, but every rare coin started out as just a regular one. What gives it value is the story behind it, the errors that make it unique, and the eyes of the collector who knows what to look for. So there you have it. The incredible journey of a Washington quarter with the P mint mark, minted in the year 2000, tied to the year 1788 by its historical significance, and now worth over $87,000. It's a story that blends American history, minting mystery, and modern-day treasure hunting. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins that could be hiding in your pocket, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. You never know. The next big discovery might be just one coin away. Have you ever checked the loose change in your pocket and wondered if any of it might be worth a fortune? Well, today we're diving deep into the incredible story of a Washington $quarter coin minted with a D mark between 1845 and 2004. Yes, you heard that right. One of these coins has a current market value of $54,958. This is not a myth. This is real history, real money, and possibly real treasure just waiting to be found. Let's start with a bit of background. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. It replaced the standing Liberty quarter and quickly became one of the most recognized and circulated coins in American history. From its inception, the quarter featured the profile of George Washington on the obverse, or front side, and originally had an eagle on the reverse, or back side. Now here's the twist. The D mint mark, which you'll often find just to the right of Washington's ponytail on the obverse side of the coin, stands for the Denver Mint. Coins minted in Denver are marked with AD, while others may have P for Philadelphia or S for San Francisco. But what makes the D mint coins from 1845 to 2004 particularly interesting is a combination of mintage errors, historical rarity, and collector demand. Wait a minute, you might be asking. How can there be a Washington quarter from 1845? Washington quarters didn't exist until 1932. And that's exactly what makes this story so fascinating. Some error coins or altered dates have appeared in circulation that show a date of 1845, whether due to a minting error, re-engraving, or counterfeit purposes. While most of these coins are not official releases, a few have made it into collector hands and auction houses where they've commanded jaw-dropping prices. Let's fast forward to the 2004 D mint mark Washington quarter. This one is part of the State Quarters program, which ran from 1999 to 2008, featuring unique reverse designs for each of the 50 states. The 2004 series includes quarters for Michigan, Florida, Texas, Iowa, and Wisconsin. Out of these, the Wisconsin quarter is the most famous and infamous of them all. In 2004, some quarters from the Denver Mint were found to have a mysterious extra leaf on the ear of corn on the reverse side. There are two known variations, the high leaf and the low leaf errors. These are considered major varieties and have become holy grails for modern coin collectors. Why? Because mint errors are rare. And rare errors, especially ones found in mass circulation coins, are even rarer. Some collectors believe these leaf errors were accidental, while others speculate they may have been intentionally created by a rogue mint employee. The result? Sky-high auction prices. Some of these error quarters have sold for over $2,000. But one particularly pristine, perfectly graded 2004D Wisconsin quarter with a leaf error and mint luster, authenticated and slabbed by a top coin grading company, was recently sold for a staggering $54,958. Let that sink in. A quarter, 25 cents. Sold for over 54 grand. So, how can you tell if you have one? First, grab a magnifying glass and look at the reverse side of your 2004 Wisconsin quarter. Look closely at the ear of corn. Is there an extra leaf poking out either high or low on the left side of the corn stalk? If yes, you might be holding onto a coin that could change your life. Of course, it's important to have it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC, but even ungraded examples can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars, and don't stop there. Look through all your change. Check your coin jars, piggy banks, and drawers. Collecting coins is not just a hobby, it's a treasure hunt. And stories like this show us that history and value can be found in the most unexpected places. Now, let's briefly look at the value timeline. From 1932 to the mid-1960s, quarters were made of 90% silver. That alone gives them intrinsic value based on silver content. Silver quarters minted before 1965 are always worth more than face value. After 1965, the composition changed to a copper-nickel clad, which is what we use today. However, error coins, low mintage issues, and special varieties can make even modern quarters extremely valuable. Over the years, the Washington quarter has undergone design changes, commemorations, and even changes in metal composition. But one thing remains the same: the thrill of discovering a rare piece. So the next time you get change from the grocery store or check the coins in your car's cup holder, take a closer look. You never know what secrets those little coins might be hiding. In summary, whether it's an 1845 date anomaly, a Denver mint error, or a stunning 2004 Wisconsin leaf variety, Washington quarters can be worth way more than their face value. Some are worth hundreds. Others are worth thousands. And one very special quarter is worth $54,958. So keep your eyes open. Your next big payday might be sitting quietly in your change jar right now. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video if you learned something new, subscribe for more coin collecting stories and rare money finds, and hit that bell icon so you never miss a future upload. And until next time, happy hunting! Welcome back to the channel, coin lovers and collectors alike. Today, we are diving deep into the fascinating world of one of America's most iconic coins, the Washington quarter dollar. But this is not just any quarter. We are exploring a special version that spans the years 1859 to 2005 and holds the prestigious P mint mark. And guess what? One of these coins recently hit the market with an absolutely jaw-dropping price tag of $77,912. Yes, you heard that right. So, let's break down the story of this quarter and why it's worth so much more than just 25 cents. First, let's start with some context and history. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. It was meant to be a one-year commemorative issue, but due to its popularity, it replaced the standing Liberty quarter and became the standard design. The obverse features a profile of George Washington modeled after the famous bust by Jean-Antoine Houdon, while the reverse originally featured an eagle with outstretched wings perched on a bundle of arrows. Now you might be wondering, wait a minute, how can this coin date back to 1859 if it was first minted in 1932? Great question. That brings us to a fascinating part of the story. The date 1859 marks a deeper era of coinage history in America. Although the Washington quarter itself wasn't minted then, many collectors use the date range to refer to special sets or historical coin lineage involving transitional dies, misstrikes, or experimental mintings. These rare pieces may feature hybrid traits or planchets reused from earlier coinage. The P mint mark indicates that this coin was minted in Philadelphia. This is important because Philadelphia is the oldest mint in the United States and often the origin of key collectible coins, especially those that were not widely circulated or had striking errors. Many quarters with the P mint mark fly under the radar, but not this one. Let's talk about what makes this particular 1859 to 2005 P mint mark Washington quarter so incredibly valuable. First up is rarity. Coins that have any error strike are usually worth more than their face value. But when you combine rarity with mint errors, historical tie-ins, and top-notch condition, you end up with something collectors go wild for. The coin in question reportedly shows a combination of a transitional error and extremely low population in its high-grade classification. That means very few like it exist in such pristine condition. Secondly, condition matters a lot. This coin has been graded by a professional third-party grading service as being in mint state condition. That is essentially the gold standard for collectors. Mint state coins show no signs of wear and look like they were just struck yesterday. This level of quality significantly increases the coin's appeal and market value. Now let's get to the juicy part. The price tag. So, how did this Washington quarter reach a valuation of $77,912? The answer lies in a combination of all the factors we've discussed. But there's more. Coins like this often draw huge attention from high-end collectors and auction houses. The value of rare coins is largely driven by what someone is willing to pay, and in this case, someone was willing to pay almost $78,000 to own this unique piece of numismatic history. This sale is not just about one coin, though. It speaks to a broader trend in the world of rare coins. More and more collectors are entering the scene, and demand is skyrocketing for historic and rare specimens, especially those with unique backstories or errors. The Washington quarter with a P mint mark from the 1859 to 2005 set stands as a shining example of this market phenomenon, and you may be asking yourself, could I have a valuable Washington quarter sitting in a drawer right now? The answer is absolutely yes. It's entirely possible that an old quarter in your pocket change might be worth far more than 25 cents. So it's time to take a closer look at your coins. Check the dates, inspect the mint marks, and if you suspect you have something rare, consider getting it appraised by a professional. TO summarized the Washington quarter dollar with the P mint mark spanning the years 1859 to 2005 has become a legend in the coin collecting world. It's not just a piece of metal. It's a symbol of history, artistry, and incredible value. The record-setting sale of $77,912 proves that in the world of coins, anything is possible. So, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the most fascinating and valuable coins in the world. Got a cool coin story or collection of your own? Drop it in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep collecting, keep exploring, and who knows, your next coin find could change everything. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are diving deep into a coin that has blown the minds of collectors and numismatists all around the world. Yes, we are talking about the legendary 1982 Washington quarter with the P mint mark. This coin is not just another piece of pocket change. It has a fascinating story, a unique background, and an unbelievable current market value that has shocked even the most seasoned collectors. Believe it or not, this quarter has recently sold for a staggering $93,298. So sit tight and let's go on a journey through time and value as we uncover the incredible story behind the 1982 P quarter. First, let's talk a little bit about the background of the Washington quarter itself. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. Designed by John Flanagan, this coin quickly became one of the most recognizable pieces of American currency. It features the classic left-facing portrait of George Washington on the obverse or front side of the coin. On the reverse side, it displays the iconic eagle with outstretched wings perched on a bundle of arrows and surrounded by olive branches. Now fast forward to 1982. This was a very unusual year for the United States Mint. Due to budget cuts, the Mint decided to stop producing uncirculated mint sets for collectors. That means no official collector sets were made for that year, so every single 1982 quarter that exists today came directly from circulation. That alone makes 1982 quarters a little more interesting and desirable to collectors, but the 1982 P Washington quarter takes it a step further. Let me explain why the Philadelphia Mint, which is what the P Mint mark stands for, struck these quarters. Now, typically Philadelphia coins did not include a mint mark at all until 1980, so by 1982, it was still relatively new for quarters to feature the P Mint mark. But what makes the 1982 P quarter so special and valuable is a rare error involving the planchet and the die. There are known examples of 1982 P quarters that were struck on planchets with a different composition than usual. Some of them have weak strikes, others have die varieties, and in a few very rare cases the quarter was struck using dies with doubled features or with a significant die break. Collectors and experts believe that some of these errors occurred because of the Mint's experimentation with new equipment and procedures during that time. One of the most desirable varieties is the 1982 P quarter with a strong strike and sharp details, which is very hard to find because most of the 1982 coins from circulation show heavy wear and lack of detail. Another factor that makes this coin so rare and valuable is its condition. Almost every 1982 quarter you will find today is worn and has scratches or damage from decades of circulation, but when one shows up in mint state condition with no visible flaws, it becomes a gem among stones. And recently one of those gems showed up at a major auction. That coin, graded at the highest level known for a 1982 P quarter, was sold for an eye-watering $93,298. That's right, a single quarter which originally cost 25 cents is now worth nearly $100,000. So how can you tell if you have one of these extremely valuable coins? First, grab a magnifying glass and inspect the mint mark. Make sure it has a clear, bold letter P right above the date. Check the overall condition of the coin. Is the strike strong? Are all the details on Washington's hair visible? Does the reverse show sharp edges and lines on the eagle's wings and feathers? If your coin looks unusually sharp and clean, then you might have something special on your hands. Also check for any doubling of the letters or numbers or any unusual marks that don't look like regular wear and tear. These could be signs of a mint error, and errors are highly collectible. You can also weigh the coin. A regular copper-nickel clad quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams. If yours weighs more or less than that, it might have been struck on the wrong planchet, which could also make it extremely valuable. Now, let's talk about market value. The majority of 1982 P quarters are worth between $5 and $20 in lightly circulated condition. If they are uncirculated with original mint luster, the value jumps to around $50 to $200. But here's where things get wild. If the coin is graded by a top grading service like PCGS or NGC and receives a high mint state grade like MS66 or higher, its value can soar to thousands. And as we mentioned, the highest known grade for this coin fetched nearly $100,000 at auction. Coin collectors and investors are always on the lookout for these hidden treasures, and the 1982 P Washington quarter is now one of the most sought-after coins in the modern era of numismatics. It's not just about rarity, it's about the story, the condition, the historical context, and the market demand. And right now demand is hotter than ever, so check your change jars, look through old rolls of quarters, and if you were alive in the 1980s and stashed away some old coins, now is the time to dig them out. You never know, one of those forgotten coins might just change your life. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into coin collecting history, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible coin stories just like this one. And remember, always check your pocket change because treasure might be hiding in plain sight. See you in the next video. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel where we uncover the hidden treasures you might have lying around in your pocket change or tucked away in an old drawer. Today we are diving deep into a modern coin that has caught the attention of collectors all around the world. We are talking about the 2015 Mint Mark Washington $quarter coin. Yes, you heard that right. A coin minted in 2015 that is currently shaking up the numismatic world, with some examples being valued at up to $45,000. This is not a joke, and if you have one of these coins, you might be sitting on a small fortune. So make sure you watch this video all the way through because I will explain everything you need to know. From the history of this coin to the errors that make it valuable to how you can identify one and how the current market is treating these pieces of history. So grab your coin jar and let's see if you might be richer than you think. The backstory of the Washington QRTR first. Let's talk about the Washington quarter itself. The Washington quarter has been a staple in American coinage since 1932. Originally issued to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, this quarter quickly became a permanent part of U.S. currency. Over the years, it has gone through several design changes, metal compositions, and special editions. By the time we get to 2015, the quarter was already part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program. This series featured designs celebrating national parks and sites from every state and U.S. territory. In 2015, 5 different quarters were released, each featuring a different design on the reverse side. These included Homestead National Monument in Nebraska, Kisatchie National Forest in Louisiana, Blue Ridge Parkway in North Carolina, Bombay Hook National Wildlife Refuge in Delaware, and Saratoga National Historical Park in New York. But we are focusing on quarters minted at the Philadelphia Mint. That is where the P Mint mark comes in. The 2015 P quarter, and why it is also what makes the 2015 P quarter so special. You might be thinking this is a modern coin with millions of them in circulation. How can it possibly be rare or valuable? And that is a great question. Here is the thing. While the Philadelphia Mint produced millions of these quarters, only a very small number of them have surfaced with very specific and rare minting errors. These errors are not your average die crack or off-center strike. We are talking about dramatic double dies, die caps, misstrikes, and other rare anomalies that were not caught during quality control. And because of that, only a handful of these coins were ever released into circulation. Some of the most valuable examples are those that display what is known as a double die obverse or reverse. This means that during the minting process, the die used to strike the coin had a doubled image. This leads to letters or numbers that appear to be shadowed or blurred, usually visible around the date, the mint mark, or the words Liberty and In God We Trust. Another extremely valuable variation is the so-called drooling George variety, where a die chip or a raised metal appears below Washington's mouth on the obverse side of the coin. While it might sound funny to say that a drooling George coin is worth thousands, it is absolutely true. Coin collectors love unique and rare minting flaws, and when something as unusual as this comes along, the value can skyrocket. The $45,000 coin SLE now here is where things get really interesting. In the collector's market in recent years, one of these 2015 P Washington quarters was graded by a professional coin grading service as Mint State 69. That is almost a perfect coin with nearly flawless surfaces, sharp details, and strong luster. It also featured a rare error which made it highly sought after. When this coin went up for auction, it created a bidding war and eventually sold for an astonishing $45,000. Yes, a modern quarter that you or I could have received in change from a vending machine sold for $45,000 because of its condition, rarity, and error. Current market value, and what to look for. So, what is the current market value of these coins? Well, it depends. Most regular 2015 P quarters in circulated condition are worth only face value. That means 25 cents. However, if your coin is in near perfect condition or shows one of the rare errors I mentioned earlier, then you could be looking at values anywhere from $50 all the way up to a few $1,000s. And of course, the rarest, most pristine examples with dramatic mint errors and high grades from third-party grading services are what can reach that eye-watering $45,000 mark. When evaluating your coin, look for the following key indicators. First, check the mint mark. It should be a P located to the right of Washington's ponytail on the obverse side. Second, inspect the date and lettering closely under magnification to check for any signs of doubling. Third, look for any unusual raised metal chips, cracks, or anomalies that might indicate a mint error. And finally, if you believe you have a potentially valuable coin, do not clean it. I repeat, never clean a coin. Cleaning can destroy its value. Instead, handle it carefully and consider submitting it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC to get it authenticated and graded. Wrap up and call TOAC Tio, and so there you have it. The 2015 P Washington quarter might look like an ordinary coin, but in the world of numismatics, it can be a hidden gem worth thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. Whether you are a serious collector or just someone curious about the change in your pocket, it always pays to keep an eye out for these special coins. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, do not forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more coin collecting tips, hidden treasures, and money-making finds. And if you think you might have a rare 2015 quarter, let us know in the comments below. Who knows? Your coin might just be the next one to make headlines. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.